Look at him, man. I am hot today.
Yeah, about what?
So this
What exactly?
This light-skinned guy
Uh-huh.
in the NBA by the name of Steph Curry.
Yeah, what about him? He's a nice
blasphemed the point guard position today.
In what way?
He had the audacity to be like, yo, I'm the greatest point guard of all time.
Gilbert Arenas asked him if he's the greatest point guard of all time. What are you supposed to say?
Magic Johnson, the truth.
Hold up. Is he selling Magic Johnson jerseys?
He should be. He should be.
No.
I mean, listen here,
no.
man. Look, first of all, you're not even a point guard.
Yeah, he is.
Matter of fact, I'm going to go one step further. You're not even the best point guard on your team.
Oh, that's tough.
Now, how about that?
Tough.
You are a guard. You are an Allen Iverson. No, he's a two guard. Listen, he don't bring the ball up.
He's a point guard.
He's a two guard.
You don't have to bring the ball up.
Who they run the offense for?
Him.
So how is he initiating the offense if they're running the offense for him?
Because running it for you don't mean that you take the shot.
But he's doing the shooting.
He gets everybody else open because the offense
is
centered around him.
But he's not initiating. That's what a point guard does. But he does it.
Sometimes.
Okay, so he's a sometime point guard?
No, he's an all-time point guard.
Well, what is
all-time great point guard.
He's
maybe the best point guard ever.
Man, he ain't even the best point guard on his team. Starting lineup for the Golden State Warriors is going to go like this. Point guard, Chris Paul. Guard, Steph Curry.
Time out.
Guard,
Klay
Thompson. That's what they're going to run this year.
So, for all these years that he's been on Golden State, the starting lineup has been announced. Point guard.
That is very true.
Steph Curry.
Is very, very true.
So he is the point guard.
That is true.
Chris Paul being in the starting lineup is still up in the air. It's a maybe. Now, Chris, he is the point guy. But where's his?
He ain't got the hardware. He don't have the hardware.
So where's his proof? In the assist record?
No.
So that's like saying LeBron James the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA.
We already know that ain't the truth.
Well, he got the numbers.
I mean, Karl Malone got more points than Michael Jordan, and
so he's a better scorer than Michael Jordan, right?
No.
Oh, then Chris Paul being a better point guard than Steph Curry in what way?
So if we throwing out numbers, since this is what we're doing, we'll throw out numbers. Technically speaking, Russell Westbrook is a better player than Steph Curry. But how many people believe that? All of his numbers are better than Steph Curry.
We're going to come back to Russ.
Oh.
Because if you want to make an argument for Russ, I'm with you.
You on my team right there? I don't want you to be on my team. Stay over there.
No,
okay?
No, don't bring up one of my favorite players of all time and be like, don't talk about him.
You are not going to come across this table to be on this side today, okay?
Look.
Irvin Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time.
Up until recently, yes. I think it's a toss-up. I'm not ready to.
And I don't think it's close.
I'm not ready to go so far and be as committed or be as convicted as Steph Curry was, but I understand Curry's conviction. He got to sell his jersey. He got to sell his team. He's still on the court playing. Magic had his heyday. But here's the thing. He's in the argument.
As what, one of the greatest point guards of all time?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Sure. If you want to put him as one of the greatest, I have no problem with putting him as one of the greatest. I just think that in this particular generation, I don't know what it is about this generation and then giving themselves their own clout.
He was asked the question. He just answered it.
And how many times publicly has Michael Jordan been asked, do you consider yourself the greatest player of all time? And publicly, he always deferred to people before him. Now, I don't know what the man said privately. I'd love to meet you. It is what it is.
Steph's whole answer was yes. And then he said, who else? Magic? He brought up Magic. He pointed out that Magic might be.
See that word right there? You see that word you used?
Might.
Yeah, that's that disrespect.
But he gave him the credit, though. He gave him the credit.
Listen, I don't care about the credit. I don't care.
You just brought up the credit.
I don't care.
You was like, Michael is deferring to people before.
If he don't say it's Magic Johnson, then he's disrespecting Magic. That's how I feel.
Well, fine. Magic's disrespected then.
Okay.
Tell him to get his 5 and meet him on the court.
He's 60 years old. He's 60.
But hold on. Here's you know when we were growing up, my favorite player in the NBA was Magic Johnson.
Easy.
But here's the thing that Magic had that Russ didn't have,
Mm-hmm.
and Steph didn't have or don't have yet.
Okay.
And they won't have it.
Okay.
Magic walked on the court with future Hall of Famers. He
Okay.
started his career with Kareem,
an old Kareem,
who was still getting buckets.
I mean, you
still
can't
carrying the team.
You can't block that shot, dude. I mean, it is what it is.
Offense was still centered around him.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, Byron Scott wasn't there yet. He had James Worthy.
He did.
Another future Hall of Famer. Later, he played with Byron. So he had other guys on that team. Nixon was on that team. Who else was on? He had a bunch of.
He had a nice team in LA.
He had a bunch of players that were either former All-Stars or future Hall of Famers.
Magic Johnson had a nice team in LA, right? I'm not disagreeing with that.
So I'm just saying that makes the game a little easier for you.
But here's the reality of that situation that you brought up. When the game mattered the most, as a rookie, Magic played center.
He played. So you can't coach height. Right? Hey. So Steph at 6'3", which means he's really 6'1.5". But Steph at 6'3" went from a scrawny little kid to dominating, scoring wise, and filling up the other categories as needed for his team.
Steph Curry has changed the way basketball is played. I'm gonna give him all the respect to him. Give him his flowers
because he's a sharpshooter.
He is like that. Yeah. If we want to change the category and just say, is Steph Curry the greatest guard under 6'3"? I'm gonna put my hand up. Yes, he is. I'll give him that. He's the greatest guard under 6'3".
Why can't you just say Magic's the greatest guard over 6'8"?
He's the greatest point guard
over 6'8".
No, period. Because here's the reality: more people, not now, but then wanted to be like Magic Johnson.
Yeah,
Penny Hardaway, all of Scottie Pippen, all of these guys.
Yeah,
they emulated,
came in the game, and
Magic Johnson
changed the way they play because of Magic. But you got guys
now
that Steph is playing with. They all want to be him.
Listen,
everybody want to be him. So much that look, high schools ain't even allowing their kids to shoot 2-pointers anymore. Mid range is out.
Look, I'm not going.
In high school,
I'm not going.
You had that elbow shot down pat.
I'm not going to get on the.
You won't make nobody's team with your little mid range game.
Hey, Carmelo, I feel bad for you, but he's true. It's very true. The mid range game and the skill of inside that 18 feet scoring ability has been killed. But that's why guys like Kawhi Leonard, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, that's why they still getting buckets, because they got the skill set to get buckets within the 3-point range, right? Steph Curry, we talking about...
Not many rely on the jumper, though.
No, they don't.
Like Kyrie get it in the paint, but he can score at all 3 levels.
Yeah.
He can score at all 3 levels. Kawhi can score at all 3 levels.
Kyrie is amazing. Durant, those guys, we know, those guys are great. What I think that... See, it's like a gift and a curse with Steph Curry. He's great for the game, and he's bad for the game all at the same time.
That's what they used to say about MJ.
And it's the truth.
Is it?
Yeah.
But he walked away the greatest
how many people
ever have played. When he retired, he was the greatest to ever do it, right?
How many people tried to emulate Mike's game?
All of us.
And ended up...
Oh, you talking about the little Jordan, baby Jordan, mini Jordan.
There you go. Listen. Even if you took pieces of the greatness of Michael Jordan, it was going to always be nearly impossible to duplicate MJ. Kobe Bryant is the only person that came close enough to do it, right? Steph Curry got people in the NBA right now that he's influenced because of the way he plays the game. And I'm not knocking the way the game is played today, but Trae Young is a baby Steph Curry. Right?
Not nearly as accurate.
My point exactly. Right?
But that's the case with all of them. That's what makes Steph so great.
But it also affects the way the game is played in a negative way. Because we go to a high school game right now, these jokers can't do 20 push-ups, but they trying to shoot 40-foot jump shots.
You saw Steph when he came in the league?
I mean, yeah.
He couldn't do 20 push-ups. He could, because he only weighed 5 pounds.
What? Really? That's what we gonna do?
I'm just saying.
Why are you gonna make me defend Steph Curry? Don't be doing them like that.
He was little.
He was scrawny. He was a little man. It's all good. But it still affects the game.
He's never eaten like you have.
Shots fired. Did he just shoot a shot at me? Yes, he did. It's all good. You bright orange wearing. I'm not gonna do this right now. But anyway, he's not even the second greatest point guard of all time. In my opinion.
Who do you have as number 2?
So it's a toss-up, in my opinion. Really, you could you can
I know
play
what
with
you're
that.
say, but I want to hear it.
To me, Isaiah Thomas is still the second greatest point guard of all time.
You went Isaiah.
I still got Isaiah as the second greatest point guard. He is the only person, and he lets everybody know he's the only person that beat Magic, Bird, and Jordan in their primes. And he led his team to 2 chips in between the Lakers, Celtics, and then the Bulls run. So I'm gonna give Isaiah Thomas his flowers.
That's fair,
right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, when it comes to the current players, the Dame Lillards, the CPs, the Russes, those guys, they don't have the hardware to deal with Steph Curry. Right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So Zeke got 2, Steph got 4, right? But I still, if we're just basing it on what are we labeling a point guard today? Are we doing traditional point guards? Or are we doing what we call a guard today? If we're saying guard today, then even Magic Johnson struggles with the way the game is being played today from a statistic standpoint.
I think that the purpose of the position hasn't changed.
Okay.
And I think Steph does it really well. He just does it differently than Magic did it.
Okay. That's a fair take. I mean, that's a fair point. I'm not putting him over Magic Johnson.
That's fair. Here are 2 point guards that well, one we already talked about, and I'm gonna bring up another one who I think is who shouldn't be left out of the conversation.
Okay.
So CP3 has already been talked about.
Yes.
Right? Point guard.
Absolutely.
Right? But what about Jason Kidd?
Hey man. Underrated in my opinion.
Right. But he got some hardware. He got at least 1 ring.
He got 1 ring, but he took his team 2 chips.
Yeah, like as 4 with the Nets, right?
He got him to chips.
To the finals. Right?
Yeah, he got him to the championships.
And when he retired, he was number 1 in assists or number two?
He's in the top 5, I think.
Or he's in the top 3, I think.
Top 5, top 3.
When he retired. Retired. Because I think Mark Jackson and John Stockton were ahead of him, I believe.
But I think he was a number 1 in 3-point shooting at the time.
Yeah.
Because he reinvented his whole game.
He was number 1 in 3-pointers made, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he reinvented his whole game as his career went on. But as far as like you said, like running the break.
Remember young kid on the break?
Listen, man.
Him running at you was just as bad as LeBron running at you.
I agree. And this is another thing that we lose in this discussion when it comes to Steph Curry, right? A lot of people, and I'm not disagreeing, but I'm going to push back on the greatest shooter of all time in this regards, because this is a guy that gets left off of people's radar because of what happened to him in his life.
I know what you're going to say.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Chris Jackson.
Yeah.
Off the bounce.
Not driving?
Off the catch. Off the catch, him and Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Best out of 50, whoever misses 1 shot will win that shot that game. Okay. But Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Yeah.
I think if he was in today's NBA, we're talking about a 6'2" point guard with the handles, the ability, and he is a far more athletic Steph Curry, because he was also in the dunk contest. People forget that.
Yeah, he was.
Mr. Louisiana.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Basketball Louisiana.
Yeah.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf will give Steph Curry every run for his money when it comes to shooting. In my opinion,
you can pick somebody who's like a career, let's say 42% 3-point shooter, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
But Steph's percentage is like 44% for his career, and he shoots way more of them than anybody else.
Right.
So like Steve Kerr had still has the highest 3-point percentage.
Yeah.
But he only shot like 1,500 in his career.
Yeah.
Steph might do that in 2 years or something like that. Like I don't know what the numbers are, but it's something ridiculous. So yeah, I think Mahmoud Rauf definitely had the skills and everything you just said, but I still don't think he's anywhere near where Steph Curry is.
Okay. Hey, listen, everybody got their opinion.
I just think, look, you talk about people getting flowers.
Yeah.
You know, we've had conversations about who's the best player ever, MJ or LeBron, stuff like that. You hear a lot of those conversations, and you talk about like a top 10. A lot of times, Steph Curry name don't even come up, and I think that's a mistake. We're gonna learn over time. I think history's gonna prove me right on this. I think it's a mistake that Steph Curry's name isn't brought up
in the all-time top 10.
In those like all-time top 10, like best players in multiple ways, like most influential, like you said.
Yeah, he's definitely
changed the game.
No, he's definitely in that. He's top 5 in that.
Top shooter.
Yeah.
He's in the conversation, whether the stats bear it out or not. He's definitely in the conversation. Best point guard. That's his position.
Okay.
And because of him being on the court, the offense gets open shots.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he's the one passing it, which, by the way, he still is like a career, I don't know, 6+ assists.
6 assists in the
Again.
90s. He's on the bench.
Nah, he ain't on the bench. Nobody came off the bench with 6 assists in the 90s.
Listen.
You had some elite point guards.
If
Mark
he's averaging
Jackson,
6
John
assists
Stockton.
in the 90s and the 80s as a point guard, he ain't starting unless he hitting those shots.
That's more assists than Scotty average.
But Scotty wasn't, he was a small forward. He was a point forward in the triangle offense. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is in that regard.
Let me ask this question. Who brought the ball up?
Scottie Pippen.
Okay. So that's what we call.
So who bring the ball up? Draymond Green.
That's what we call a callback.
Draymond Green bring the ball up.
But Curry averaged more assists.
Does he?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
So look,
I'm pretty sure.
This is what I want to do. Audience, let us know what y'all think. I mean, and don't be biased because we in the now. Okay, we just, prisoners of the moment. Tell us what you think. Leave a comment. Subscribe, because we gonna talk about this all day. And if you don't like it, it's all good, because Steph Curry ain't the greatest point guard of all time.
I disagree. You're wrong. I win.
Stay winning.